This was a sweeping hysteria across the country because I'm familiar with, and there's probably been many documentaries, but one of the most notable it was around 96 was Paradise Lost. I think
Absolutely.
it's on HBO. Okay, so you're familiar with that one, right? Which had 3 parts of the kids. I forget where they were from, but the point is that this was happening all over during the late 80s and early 90s.
It was. And so my husband and I were young parents, children the same age, and we started reading about this case when it exploded into the newspapers. And we were just baffled by it, that people believed that the things that the children were saying, that they could possibly be true. And we kept going back to this idea that this young 18-year-old girl, all she had to do was tell them what they wanted to hear, and she could go home to she could be with her baby, she could be free of the charges. And she refused, all of them refused. And in fact, in 35 years, not one of them has ever turned on the others or said anything happened or done anything except deny it, just completely and relentlessly denied that anything ever happened. And my husband said in those early years, somebody needs to write this book. I wish you'd write the book. And I'm like, I don't have time to write this book.
Right, yeah.
I'm a young mother, and he just kept pressuring me every time we would read something about it. He said, God, I wish you'd write this book. And then I began teaching at 42. I was a late bloomer. And he was still pushing me, write this book, write this book, write this book. And then I retired and COVID hit, and it was like, and then I had this absolutely happenstance meeting with Robin just out of nowhere. Joe and I we were the only ones still talking about it. It had gone silent. The story had gone silent.
And
It,
Robin was one of the accused.
Robin was the youngest of the 7 defendants. And I happened to meet her. And I don't want to say too much about how I meet her because that's the
Sure.
first chapter in my book.
Yeah, gotta read it.
Yeah. But I through tears, I just looked at her and I said, "Can I write your book?" And she said, "I'm ready."